back here on Jordan's Mustang, we are cleaning up our gasket surfaces for our thermostat housing and our water pump. Need just a little bit more to go with our wire brush. Get that baby nice and clean, ready to go. And then we will install. Then once we get the water pump and the thermostat in, we can start constructing our hoses, as they're going to be, you'll see, they'll be pretty neat. It's going to be cool. Definitely going to be cool. And we also have to mount our fan as well. Probably won't finish this today, but we'll be pretty close. I'm hoping to where I have everything in and have coolant in it, and then we just got to finish our electrical. Like, that would be the realistic goal, but we'll see. So I'm cleaning the years of schmutz off the thermostat housing because it's nasty. So I'm just kind of hitting it with the brush real quick. I got all our gasket surfaces clean finally, so this is our next mission. Just finish this up and start getting things ready to go. All right, so getting ready to put our thermostat in. I got a 160-degree fail-safe, which this car lives in the desert here, so we want it to be cool as a cucumber. As a cucumber. So that baby's gonna go in. All right, nice new aluminum water pump. It's a nice GMB, made in Japan. Really nice stuff. It's better than an iron pump any day. Got our thermostat and housing installed. Now, we're gonna mock up our fan really fast and put our water pump pulley on for mock up. So, that ain't gonna fly, and this is the thinnest fan we can buy, so we need to make this fan into a pusher, which is perfectly fine, seeing this is gonna be primarily an around town car. And when you're on the freeway, if it ever gets on the freeway, it'll have plenty of airflow to cool itself. And I'll mount it to the radiator right there, which leaves us plenty of room for when we add AC to put our condenser in front of it, so it'll act as a puller through the condenser as well. I already hear people saying that's not gonna work. Yes, it is. I've done it before. So don't tell me that it doesn't work, because guess what, it does. It works. Sorry. Try again. Oh, and added bonus, it gives us more room for when we construct our hoses, which is gonna be really sweet. All right, so I'm mocking up our upper hose. I used a piece of rubber that's 1.25 to 1.5 taper down here just for mock-up. I'm gonna get a silicone one so it goes, but yeah, and I blew out part of my finger. So I can trim this down or wherever I want it, which is fine with me, because in preparation for the future AC install, I am going to need to bring a radiator in about 1 inch. I'm going to measure and make sure, but I should have 1 inch there. So I can do that, get that ready. And then I gotta set that up, which is gonna be fun. And then our temperature sender can go right here in this guy. Yay. All right, so mocking up our lower hose. It's gonna be pretty cool. And we got enough length in our coupler down there, because it's gonna be up here. But I need to bring, it'll be in, obviously. So we'll probably end up trimming this straight a little bit. But that's about where we're gonna end up. So I like that. Now we are gonna space our radiator back towards the engine about 1 inch, because the fan we're gonna get is gonna go right in there, but we wanna keep room to go for the future AC install. So the fan will be between the condenser and the radiator, which will be fine. So it'll act like a puller for the condenser and a pusher for the radiator, but it'll be like 2300 CFM, so it's fine. So we got our hoses mocked, we have our list of what we need, and I have a whole box of stuff like this that I'm going to be sending back to Summit, which is fine. And I also got to send back the mechanical fan and everything, and get everything else back, either back or on the way. But hot damn, look at us. And then I got to get some silicone heater hose and new fitting as well, because the heater hose on this just kind of bypasses anyway. I bet I could just pull that and plug her off and plug the other one too, because, you know, it kind of saves helps the car run better too, because it won't have that stupid hot water flowing out of the carb. No vapor lock. Alright, so we've got our temperature sending unit in. We put it in where the heater hose stud would go usually, because we know this car needs a heater core. So for right now, for functionality, we're bypassing all that stuff anyway. So I know we're going to come back to it later in the future, but we'll probably then move it up to here. But for right now, that's open, easy access, good to go. And like I said, our radiator is going to move in 1 inch. This is a solid 2, 1 3/4 to 2, so we'll be good there. Move that in for our fan. Have our fan there, and then have room for our AC condenser when that comes in the future. There's always room for growth, and Jordan wants growth, but he wants to be able to drive the car as we construct things. It is a ongoing project car, as he's had it many, many, many moons, and he's gonna keep it, and his kids will enjoy it. This being a desert car, we need to keep this baby cool. Now the problem between the i6 cars and the V8 cars is the engine in the i6 car sticks out quite a bit further. Quite a bit further. Now, when I did JR's car, which unfortunately there's just a little bit of video of it, like when I did his carburetor, but back in about 2015, I believe, I did the AC conversion, because it was a factory air car, but I did the conversion to a modern style compressor, modern style condenser, and I put the modern evaporator in the factory case. turned out really nice. I had to do some serious modifications and find a fan that was thin enough to fit between the radiator, which wasn't a cold case, it was, what is it? ECP, I think, Engineered Cooling Products, which they're kind of went shifty lately. But I had their fan controller, all that, and I found a really thin, really high CFM electric fan, which is very similar to the one that I purchased for Jordan's car. Problem is, the i6 cars stick out so far that there's no way I could put any electric fan back there with this cold case radiator. I mean, this radiator is thicker, as you know, as you've seen. Here, I'll turn it around and show you. Like I was saying, the cold case radiator is actually thicker than the Engineered Cooling Products radiator. On JR's V8 car, to fit the fan, I had to trim the hub off here on the water pump. Now, mind you, that's probably a couple more inches back in the V8 car, too. But between the thickness of this radiator and the length of this motor, we was kind of cramped for space. So, I'm going to move the radiator, because I can have the radiator almost to here. I'm going to move it inboard. I'm actually going to construct some little pieces here to seal this off, make it like an air box, like a circle track car would have. So it would basically duct air only to the radiator. And then the fan, which is going to be a little thicker than the one we got, but that's okay, because it's going to be a lot higher CFM. Here, I got my hand in there, I'm sorry. Gonna make that work out. And then when we do our AC, we'll still have room for our condenser, and our condenser will sit in front of, between the fan, well, the fan will be between the radiator and the condenser. So it'll act like a puller for the condenser and a pusher for the radiator. It'll have tons of flow. It'll be good to go. Happy, happy, joy, joy. And she will be nice and cool and happy. Happy, happy, happy. But being a desert car, we want this thing to run cool first.